interesting ghouls. Warlock Boo here, and I got a heck of a review for you. Today, I will be reviewing Nintendo Labo Variety Kit 1. So apparently there are more variety kits of this thing coming out. Now, what is Nintendo Labo, you may ask? For those of you that haven't seen any of the trailers or the big Nintendo hype, Nintendo Labo is a new type of game Nintendo's trying to push. There are two different kits that have come out, the Robot Kit and the Variety Kit. Now, what do I mean by kit? Okay, well, Nintendo Labo is cardboard. Yes, I can hear you all going, what the hell? Yeah, it's bizarre for a thing. But it's a set of different cardboards with a game in it. You know, you put your game in your Switch, and it gives you instructions on how to build different sets. The set I have, the Variety Kit 1, comes with a fishing pole, a robot, a motorcycle, a house, a piano, and some other smaller, littler things. It gives you the instructions on how to build this. Pop out the cardboard, fold it, properly make it, and then you use the controllers and the touchscreen on your Switch to control the things. Now, this really sounds weird, and I know this. It almost doesn't sound like something that would be on a big system. It feels like something that would be one of those rare, weird things you'd see randomly that could connect with an app on your tablet or something. Yeah, it just seems weird. But it's interesting, and it's nice to see Nintendo pushing something new, so I picked it up. Now, first thing I really noticed about this was it's heavy. I mean, I went to GameStop to pick up my pre-order, and the guy went, you got to feel this. When we got these shipments, and we thought there were more Switches because of how heavy they were. I thought he was exaggerating, but I held it. I was like, dang, this is heavy. What the heck? I mean, the box is massive, too. I mean, it's a very big box. The commercials do not do it justice with how big this box is in it. Now, in the Variety Kit, it starts you off with making a tutorial. And this first thing on the tutorial, it explains basic functions on how to fast forward through the instructions, do certain things, but it has you make a little switch holder. Well, not switch holder, but a controller holder. The little controller holder, the Joy-Con. Sorry, I forgot what it was called for a minute. Don't hate me. And you can just slide it in. That's all this is. But it's just a little thing to get you used to how it works. Now, the first thing I made was the robot. It is probably the most simple thing next to the holder. It's only a couple pieces, easy click connecting. And what it is after you fold it up real nice, put your Joy-Cons on either side, and you use your Switch touchscreen to control the vibration of the Joy-Cons. How hard it vibrates, how soft they vibrate. It even uses the camera on the front of one of your Joy-Cons to see what the robot's seeing. And you can move it around. It's hard to move it, but it's fun. This was a thing that me and my kids spent a couple hours screwing with to see what we could do and how to control it. It was such a fun little thing just to move this. And they give you enough to make 2 robots. That way, if you have 4 controllers, the Switch has a version called that you can turn it to 2-player mode, where there's 2 sets of controls. You got to try and push the other robot out of the ring and win. And that's kind of a smart way to do it. It also pushes Joy-Con cells, and I know they want that. But the robot being very simple and very easy to create, but very fun to play with. I actually see this being the most popular in this whole set, because there's a lot you can do with these robots as you learn what to do. The second thing I decided to make was the fishing pole. Kind of regret that because that was complicated as heck. But what it is, again, it's a fishing pole connected to a little base where you set your Switch on sideways, put your Joy-Con in the handle, one Joy-Con in the reel, and you fish. You can turn the reel to lower the string, pull it, start doing the other way to pull it up, and you can jerk your reel to make the line jerk around. You can go deeper to get bigger fish. I had a little fish on my line, and a shark ate it. I almost started pulling it up, but it swam away. That was a kind of a cool little effect. It's actually what's really cool about this game. I will actually go on to how easy it is to build later and how sturdy they are. But first, I want to talk about the gameplay each. What's really neat though is you have different layers. You can lower your hook into to get bigger fish, different type of fish. And as you go down, it doesn't stay the same. It gets darker till you hit the bottom, and there's no light. You just see shadows swimming around, and that's kind of a neat effect. It's not all the same. They make it different. They make different fish at different levels. And I can see this being something a lot of people like, especially certain people that may like the Legend of Zelda fishing mini games. It reminds me a lot of that. And its gameplay is solid. The Joy-Cons and this whole setup, and they're calling the Labos kind of Toy-Cons, I guess, from what the instructions said, work very well with this. Much better than I thought. The way it feels, the sensors, the way it reacts is perfect. Now, next, I made the motorcycle, and this one was another complicated little thing. But what its gameplay is, make the handles, and you put the Joy-Cons in either handle, and you put the screen in the middle. As you turn, the motorcycle turns. You have little switches on either side. One's a horn, and one's the speed up, and on top you have a little button that makes it slow down your brake. And you have to win races. You can make some custom tracks, which, oh, that's gonna be fun. And it's a it's a little more annoying to play. It reminds me a lot of arcade machines, some of the more traditional ones, the motorcycle ones where you sit on the motorcycle. It feels a lot like that. The gameplay is actually fairly solid, but it's kind of hard to control. Not because it's not reacting good enough to it. It's just, it is hard to control. You're not used to it. It's so unusual from a usual setup that it feels weird. But if someone gets good enough with this, it won't be. It'll feel perfect. Now, there are two other things that get made with this. Some of the things have extra things you can make. For this, it was this little motorcycle. I still can't figure out what the freak it does. Like a little tiny thing. The other one, it looks like a radar gun. You know, like cops hold to see how fast you're going. Except, what's really cool with this is you can go to custom tracks. And you can scan something in your room. And it makes the track look like that. Not like a picture, but the hills and stuff will resemble what was you scanned in the room. So you can make little tracks on the floor and scan it with this, and it appears in the game. That is cool. I mean, that is a neat thing. I mean, it's way better than some of the things I've seen. Now, next I built the house. This one was actually very easy to build. It's big, but it was fun. What it is it's a pet simulator. You make some little knobbies too to hook in the sides or bottom. And one knob makes a faucet to fill the room with water. One makes a mobile to put them to sleep. And one makes a switch to turn the lights on and off. Seems kind of basic. But there's more you can do with it. You can combine sets because there's 3 holes on this. And you can take the knobs and put them in any of the holes. 2 on the side, 1 on each side, and 1 on the bottom. Combining them will activate mini games such as a cart game, kind of like Donkey Kong, where you go down, dodge the bombs by jumping, or try and catch the coins. Another mini game is a shooting gallery. Another one is those annoying little games where you got the hoops in the water and you got to get them on the rings. That one's annoying. You got different things, and you collect food. You can mix the food in an oven to create different cupcakes that turn your little pet different colors, and then you can save the colors to come back to later if you like them better. It's a very fun game. My kids love this one because the pet is very reactive. You shake the house, a pet bounces around. And again, there is another extra piece you can make later on, which are 2 little things with a string connects, and they make a portal that he'll get sucked through in a repeated circle. It's kind of boring, but it's interesting. Lastly, I made the piano. This, I thought, would be the hardest, and it wasn't. It was actually fairly easy to make. But it was long because of all the keys and the setup. What you do is, for the piano, it works very well. Again, the Joy-Con in the back, switch on the front, push the keys, and it plays a piano. You get little alteration things you can put in that you do make. And you play it, and it changes how it plays. Some sound like cats, some sound opera, some just make it vibrate, which actually sounds really cool. I love that one. It sounds almost creepy. And the piano works like you'd think. You can even record songs and play them back. Now, how is the construction on this? This is something I know everyone wants to know. The construction isn't hard. I thought this would be really complicated. As long as you fold when it's what it needs to be folded and do what it says and don't try and jump steps, it's very easy. It's very simple. Even in some of them, you can predict what they want. I wouldn't say skip ahead and do the steps, because sometimes it does turn out you need to fold this in a slightly different way than it says, but everything's marked. Everything's creased already, so you just got to fold on the line so it stays. Very nice. Very easy. You got little tabs that connect very easily. Now, you do have some other parts, and this is where it gets a little complicated. Got some string, like for the fishing rod. You also got these little hard plastic bolts and washers that connect in certain things. They're more decorative, but they are important, like for the fishing pole, for the motorcycle, but they work really well. They're not too hard to put on. You kid may need a little parent's help just because of how it is. The hardest part, though, I've found so far are two things. Well, three things. You have to sometimes tie a knot at the end of the ropes and then push it in a little hole. They don't want to go in. I had to use a pencil to help me. If you can do it, I am so happy for you, but it's to make sure the rope doesn't come in or out too much. You also get some rubber bands you got to hook on. Those aren't hard. Fairly easy. A little annoying, just try and get them looped right. You have these foam stickers that protect the switch when they're sitting down. That's another thing that was a bit of a problem because they didn't want to go on straight. And the last thing that was hard are there's these little reflective stickers. And they have to go on things just right. They come off fairly easy, so if you mess up, it's okay. But some of them are small, and it's hard. They don't have to be perfect, but they got to be somewhat perfect. And it can get annoying. Now, that's where I had a lot of problems with it, was with these little stickers, getting them on just right, and so time-consuming. But so the camera can reflect off and tell what's in there, and what's being moved and not. Now, and everything I've made is actually very sturdy. It's very hard. It's not going to break easily. My kids have been beating on the little house playing with the pet and nothing. The motorcycle, we dropped it, nothing. It works great. The cheapest piece made is the robot, which I see this falling apart fairly quickly. But they give you two, just because it's not as many pieces sturdying it up. And I like that. It's more sturdy than I thought it would be, and this cardboard isn't thick. It's perfectly sized, and they did a lot of research to make this work out. Now, if your pieces do break, you can order new ones, and it's not that expensive. I think for the whole piano set, for the new cardboard altogether, it's like $10, which, of course, is probably more than if you buy everything, but still, I mean, it's not that pricey just for that. And now, there is another mode on here called Explore. You have Play, Create, and Explore. You can guess what the first two are. But Explore tells you how to upgrade your things. Make them better, make them work better, decorate them better, and that's a nice thing. But there is a secret lab. You go underground, this little manhole, and you can actually connect and create your own things. Say, make so when you touch your switch, your Joy-Con vibrates. Or when you hit a button on your Joy-Con, a noise plays. And it's a really neat thing to play with. My wife was having a lot of fun with it. I was. We made a little musical thing. The kids were playing the music, and I was holding the thing while it was the switch screen while it was flashing, and they were making all this neat little noise with the because I made it so it would make noise when they hit the buttons. It was really fun. And it is a fun game. It is. Some of these are, like I said, very easy to make, but they are hard at times, can be complicated, but nothing too bad. The one, though, that I feel doesn't sturdy is the motorcycle, because you actually have to open the side and the front to get everything back in and take it out. I see this kind of breaking on me soon. I'm a little worried about that, but everything else really seems to work great. Only problem is, it's expensive, and I don't see, for a kid, I think this will get my kids the hours of entertainment. For me as an adult, I'm going to get bored after a while. But I can come back to it and play with them, and which is a nice thing. I'm going to really experiment and do some of the experimentation in the secret lab that it says. But I suggest give this a try, especially if you have kids. It is a fun project to do with them. My son was helping me fold the piano, and we had a lot of fun doing that. And I really can't wait till they come out with more kits, more things. I want to see what Volume 2 is of the variety pack. I've seen pictures of cameras and like some little clicky gun things. I'd like to see what that is. Now, I haven't played the big, giant, big $80 robot pack because that's $80 and I'm not buying that right now. But for this set, I say give it a try. At least that's what I suggest. Give it a try. If you have the money. I'm not going to say go out and buy it, but make sure it's real fun, especially if you like building, if you like Legos. This is perfect for you. But tell me down below what you think of the Labo. Tell me if you like it, what you think. And tell me how you like this video. If you agree with me, if you don't, hit that like button and subscribe. I do these every week. But until then, this has been Warlock Poo, hoping to be spoken y'all later. Bye.